I wouldn't mind him where we are say asama to nyonko na to baby and can farm menso me to me baby and come pema yeden nanso waduma nkoma ba de bo nipa bata nipa ho obi ada na nyonko yesu ansu ande yirasio obi a woni duma odidi bo a oman wokwa na ni ko si na fro wa yu kuni chechere ne ma obi ana ni ko so ni ja obrechi ni kukodu fo eja wo mo nkuni maba agurana na yiri kwa ba akasa no makasa french obi na no awobo ajo asana na ho febia woni bono so awira cheche wokwa ne bani na sene ni ba ejo no bi no anta bi eja wo mo anami di asem asa chiri na no mpa no asem eja wo mo asoma bi aba wodoma nkoma oba ade ehye yense yeni za woso eni je ni agrawom afe wonu abi wi ase asonimu eba sa wo yira kwan
no pesa wuti me your ba pesa tone skin kakra no here say we so no chocho skin toner na eno no mpacho chemicals ahodo bi an 100% natural and ya e de amount wo yusu eno e de shasha o pedua no eni no na wo yusu chocho shampoo the conditioner and afi hair food na wo de eno asisi wo trinwe dandruff bia aba wo trinwe no asibia mpacho ebe ko infection bia no aba wo trinwe no entimi enye bia no pe wo yusu chocho shampoo the conditioner and afi hair food that etuni na no ase prekope e de mo eno nti ko homode na ma won san ka chocho product ahodo amabobo so nyina chocho tea and afi chocho bpt nyina no e wo dwama so wutie bp na e ha wa no pe bia ma chocho bpt enye wo beverage a wo be take early in the morning na ebeboa wo ye pa your product nyina no e wo supermarket ahodo malls ahodo ni nyina tom pharmacies chemical shop and afi herbal shops ahodo ni nyina no eton ye niam ye was home in the eastern region open do do mo atua and pay when ye any more announce say free on 0551 81 5388 0551 81 5388 na when ye any nkomo betimi afre 0244 727348 0244 727348 afre 0504 555535 0504 555535 na when a church for any command of me na wo mo beje wo so so mami say your numbers no 0550567929 0550567929 and no any numbers are no pay ye de eye juma enti for messages no ebra or the send wo WhatsApp ye be kan or the send wo SMS ye beje na ya ken kan ni nyina nso e de amount na afi etimi aboa. Welcome back to a brand new week, Monday morning, the 3rd day of the month of February 2025, the year of our Lord. Na anope ayatna si you know and komo ahodo pi na no ewo ho enti just stay with us na yene o endi enkomo ko report na se my man achi na me man akwaba amaje
Kwame Jusu
na pom te say
nyame adomara kwa bia boko Kwame
weekend e ko say
nyame adom ekuyi pa Kwame akoyi pa
weekend akoyi
sensem yantin papa nsema na yetete no weekends no Kwame na nkuyi kwere ba ko pe ya nka se da nyame na yedi ni yi but no man na yetete no Kwame na enye ti eni na so fast da fama nyame
very well but that's it. Now report now in Kano. Well, I'll come back to him now. You have a conversation, but there is too much brouhaha about the course in Parliament last week. Now Speaker Kessben suspended 4 members of Parliament, 3 from the minority side and a feedback from the majority side. In fact, the majority whip and Speaker Kessben are suspending Urada Fiamapo, lawyer and member of a parliament as well. But my uncle na yenti Speaker Kessben at the time all professing the sanctions and the members of parliament and semua waka yeno yenti na yamra yaba yabeto aso edin kom.
Members, in furtherance of the powers conferred on me by the Constitution 1992, the Parliament Act 1965, Act 300, the Standing Orders of Parliament, and the Code of Conduct for Members of Parliament of Ghana. I make this statement with a very heavy heart and righteous anger. I am so shocked and very scandalized at what I saw and heard through various media outlets. So what happened at the sittings of the Appointments Committee yesterday, the 30th of January 2025, and this morning. Today, I read the views and reports of our brothers and sisters of the media as to what took place at the said sittings of the committee. The outrage of the public and the people who represent and serve is apt and understandable. What should have been a solemn exercise in parliamentary scrutiny degenerated into an appalling display of chaos and lawlessness, bringing this House into disrepute before the entire world. What transpired was not just a gross affront to the dignity of Parliament, but also a blatant contempt of the House. This further aggravates the already existing low level of trust of Parliament and parliamentarians. I have the unfortunate burden of responding to the disgraceful and deeply regrettable events that unfolded during the Appointments Committee. Such behavior is utterly unacceptable and a direct affront to the dignity of this House. The actions of those involved have sullied the image of Parliament and also betrayed the trust of the Ghanaian people, whose expectations of leadership, decorum, and responsible conduct have been callously disregarded. The Parliament of Ghana is expected to stand as the foremost institution of democracy, entrusted with the solemn duty of upholding the principles of good governance, Kessben, integrity, and selfless public service. Yet, the events that transpired during the Appointments Committee hearing yesterday have gravely undermined these ideals. These incidents represent a new law in parliamentary conduct and is particularly egregious given its timing and recurrence. It is unconscionable that members who are supposed to be leaders elected to serve as representatives of the people would engage in violent confrontations in a setting that demands the highest levels of maturity, emotional intelligence, and statesmanship. In the face of our fathers revered traditional leaders and spiritual leaders, our kings, our queens, our queen mothers, the apostles, and our own children, members could not even exercise a scintilla of emotional intelligence. Aged people who are sat from morning just to assist and support the community perform its duty were treated to these ugly scenes. It is deeply troubling that this is the third time in as many years that such an incident has occurred within the presence of Parliament. Each time, public outrage has been met with empty apologies and no real change in conduct. This House must acknowledge that it is rapidly eroding public confidence in Ghana's democracy, and that such conduct, if not decisively addressed, will have grave consequences for the credibility of Parliament and the future of democracy in our dear nation. Even more alarming is the involvement of some senior members of the House and members in leadership, individuals who ought to embody the principles of leadership and discipline. Their participation in this deplorable spectacle raises serious questions about their fitness to lead and their commitment to upholding the values of Parliament. If members cannot engage in robust debate without resorting to physical aggression, then they are unfit to discharge the mandate bestowed upon them by the people of Ghana. Parliamentary privilege does not and will never extend to lawlessness. The rules of Parliament exist to guide conduct, and members are duty-bound to uphold them. Ghanaian citizens deserve a Parliament that exemplifies discipline, intelligence, and the pursuit of national progress, not one that degenerates into a battleground at the slightest disagreement. The international community is watching us. Our Speaker has received numerous calls from concerned citizens, both in Ghana and outside Ghana, from civil society organizations, from academia, and parliamentary counterparts across the world, all lamenting the disgraceful conduct of members of this House. Today, I welcome my colleague from the Parliament of Morocco. A number of them are here leading delegations to a prosperity dialogue, and they all saw what happened. The Ghana that they are proud of. This unfortunate development is a direct contradiction of the repeated admonitions I have issued to members. Just yesterday, we had an occasion here.
Kessben.
Immediately after that, the worst happened. I have consistently reminded this House that respect is earned, not demanded. The manner in which members conduct themselves determines the extent to which they command the respect of the Ghanaian people. Yet, despite these admonitions, some members continue to act in a way that dishonors this house and its traditions. This must stop. Parliament cannot continue to excuse misconduct under the guise of political disagreement. Consequently, the following emergency measures are to be taken with dispatch. 1. The circumstances of the absence of a Privileges and Immunity Committee. In that circumstance, a 7-member special committee shall be constituted under Orders 5 and 20, Rule 4, to conduct a full-scale investigation into the events of yesterday and this morning. The committee shall identify all members involved in the disorder and submit its report with findings and recommendations within 10 days from today. Any member found culpable shall face the appropriate disciplinary actions as prescribed by the Constitution 1992, the Parliament Act of 1965, and the Standing Orders of Parliament. This does not absolve the chairman of the Appointments Committee from performing his duty under Order 268, Rule 3, which says, and I quote, "The chairperson of a committee shall maintain order at a meeting of the committee and decide on each question of order. And A, where a member persists in disorderly conduct, the chairperson may refer the conduct of the member to the House for determination." And so I expect the chairman of the committee to also submit a report to this House. The following members shall constitute the membership of the special committee. I have not consulted any member, and this is a duty no member can fail or decline to perform. The committee is to be chaired by Honorable Emmanuel Bejra. Other members, Kessben. Honorable Kwame Appiah, Honorable Gisela Akushika Tete Agutui, Mrs. Honorable Abina Osei Asare, Mrs. Honorable Zaneto Ajiman Rollins, Doctor. Honorable Vincent Opong Asamoah and Honorable Bede Anwatazuma Zeden. That is a 7-member committee. You are to present your report with recommendations within 10 days. from today. 2. In pursuant of Section 10 of the Parliamentary Service Act 1993, Act 460, I direct the Clerk to Parliament to cause to be undertaken a full assessment of all damage caused within the committee room and parliamentary presence as a result of the misconduct of the members. Not a single pesewa of public funds shall be used to repair or replace any damaged property. Instead, members found responsible shall be surcharged for the full cost of repairs and replacement, with deductions from their emoluments, including the salaries of members if necessary. 3. In pursuance of the provisions of the Constitution 1992 and the standing orders of Parliament, I further direct the Clerk to Parliament to formally lodge a complaint with the Ghana Police Service to conduct a full criminal investigation into the matter for appropriate action.
Kessben.
4. I call for an immediate meeting of the Committee of Selection today to reconstitute the Appointments Committee as a matter of urgency and to set up the Standing Orders Committee to reconsider a revision of the rules for the assessment of nominees for the consideration and approval by the House. If there is any defect with our rules, we will rectify them. The scene that we have all witnessed is unpalatable. 5. I draw the attention of members to the sanctions provided for in the Parliament Act and the Standing Orders of Parliament in the event of a breach of privilege or contempt of Parliament under Orders 34(2) and 36. Members may also see Article 123 of the Constitution 1992. Let there be no doubt, Parliament's credibility has been seriously undermined, and urgent punitive action has to be taken, since this was done contemptuous parliamenti in facio parlamenti. Consequently, the following members are suspended from the sittings of Parliament for 2 weeks from today.
Kessben.
You want me to repeat it?
Yes.
You want the Latin part? Their actions the honorable member is so keen in listening to the Latin phrase. I'm not sure he's studying law, but it's not even known to Dr. Amwa. What I said is this: let there be no doubt Parliament's credibility has been seriously undermined, and urgent punitive action has to be taken. Since this was done, contemptus parliamenti in facio parliamenti. Consequently, the following members are suspended from the sittings of Parliament for 2 weeks from today. They are 1 and 2, the 2 chief whips, in the persons of Mr. Roxon Nelson Eche, Kwame Appiah and Mr. Frank Ano Dompre. 3, Mr. Alasan Suleimana Tampuli. And 4, Mr. Jerry Ahmed Shaib. Leaders from the various caucuses should take the consequential actions to continue with their leadership. But the Marshal is hereby directed to ensure the full enforcement of this suspension in accordance with the rules of the House. As Speaker, I reaffirm my commitment to restoring the dignity of this House. The people of Ghana deserve a parliament that exemplifies leadership, integrity, and discipline. Members must reflect deeply on their conduct and be reminded that they hold their seats in trust for the people. The events of 30th January 2025 and this morning must not be repeated. If not, the full rigors of the law will be applied. This is just the beginning. And members must know that you can be expelled as a member of Parliament by Parliament. In conclusion, I am deeply disappointed by the conduct of members involved in this shameful episode. Their actions have brought disrepute to Parliament and undermined the democratic values we have sworn to uphold. I wish to extend my sincere apologies to the Ghanaian people for this national embarrassment and assure them that this House will not allow such an incident to recur. Parliament must and will do better. I call on all members to reflect on their actions, uphold the dignity of this institution, and recommit themselves to the principles of democracy and responsible leadership. With this, I thank all of you for your attention.
Mitro kakamio, minro kakamio.
22 minutes after 8, deliberately, Anna Yashada about the full tape of the Speaker of Parliament passing a year new ruling on Friday at the early hours. Now, Utie, the speaker, Kayana, he's not so much happy about the course last week, Thursday, at the appointment committee. But in this conversation, I hear having
Look at the way Parliament have allowed themselves for just some few people. Show me pictures of few people. Look at what they are doing. Look at what they are doing. And Parliament is you went to Parliament to carry tables. You have turned yourself into Kaya News and Kaya is. I will never speak against the institution of Parliament, never. But look at the way some few people have allowed themselves for Parliament to be spoken to anyhow. You have given opportunity for people to speak against the law of this country, to speak against the Speaker of Parliament, to speak against the office of the parliamentary service of the Republic of Ghana. Few people have hijacked Parliament like this. They have gone breaking state property. You are representing us. We will not do these foolish things. We will never do this insane, absurd, frivolous madness. We will not do this. Your case will be a parliamentarian. That is why we use the word reverend and honorable for them. These honorables are not honorable. These people don't deserve to be called honorable. They don't. We should strip them from the suspension is not enough. It's not enough. And they have the effrontery and the temerity to come speak nonsense like it is the speaker cannot suspend. Nonsense. We rather should reject you and remove you from Parliament because you don't deserve to represent us. You don't. To be our parliamentarian, they must be matured. Maturity. Matured. Obi kembu fusamua ye wakwanya ye share hoso. Jesus never carried tables, broke tables. No, never carried tables. Obi kasana Yesu tie. Even in the temple of Jerusalem, when he marched people out, he didn't argue with anybody. The moment he came in and saw the people, he took action. He didn't argue. There was no altercations. There were no acrimonious exchanges. There was nothing like that. It will be a suffer or a matured. We don't go because you have lost your cool talking nonsense all over the place like a day nursery child who have lost his toy. You don't do that. People, these are your honorables.
This is Kessben.
You are very interesting. No honorables.
0550-567-929. 0550-567-929. And no any numbers are ye juma anope. Ubetime ede wadwen training in ano ede aba. Yabeje na yaken kind in ano ede amount. So those are some of the except of what is happening with Parliament now. We are told by our intel, likely said the minority leadership in Parliament will be meeting with the Right Honourable Speaker Alban Kingsford Backben, and we'll bring you more details on that engagement. Now, the minority is not so much happy about the fact that Speaker Backben has suspended 3 of their side in terms of members, and we'll live to see how things will turn out this morning. Na afeyetimi atuaso edi enkomo, but we'll be getting onto the line shortly. Now, the question also remains: the speaker here, is it lawful or unlawful? Was suspended 4 members of Parliament for the single actor isi ewo now. Utie speaker very well in summing up the ruling now, or say Ojina order 42. 2 and then order 36 plus article 123 as well, making sure that our ruling no etime atake for effect. There is a committee awate say one more shame again. Speaker aka say one more and report a clerk no must report obi a involved in that thing biano to the IGP for onward investigation to ensure say the perpetrators will be brought to book. Now discipline ebeba this and many more ana yeneo eba bede hon komo. We'll get onto the phone line shortly na yetimi edi hon enkomo. But on the other side, His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama has put together a 8-member committee womo betimi organizing the National Education Forum and also ewo honoma yeneo eba bede hon enkomo. But mamen konamene the Executive Director Edema Parliamentary Network Africa, Samuel Obi Eni Enkomo. Samuel, good morning, as you saying.
Good morning.
Maybe I find here. Very well. Now, we all came to terms with DSC last week at the appointment committee during the vetting of the ministerial nominees. Now, the aftermath of it, Speaker has suspended 4 of them who were partly involved with their course. The concerns are that the Speaker is not founded in law. Mame Entio, Mona Modi Parliament and Shishayan in a Juma actually for a very long time. Some of these states, when it happens, quite many as I see a difference.
Suspension of 4 MPs, just one out of a good number of decisions that Speaker communicated here and our rulings that Speaker communicated here on that day. And for me, my emphasis really is not on just one out of many decisions, but on the collective, the Speaker here, the effect of the Speaker here on building back the confidence that Parliament will lose.
Okay.
First of all, Speaker Maakye committee, 7-member committee, Munko Shim, Namunche Ubia and Odifo, and answer Ubia and Humpa our video. Now, Munya the necessary recommendations that then because privileges and immunities committee and can say a so Parliament in say and not yet, by Parliament rules, no more ad hoc committees on between setting up in instances like that. Number 1. Number 2, Speaker, what says Ghana for Nyoma? Mabunkunya any tables. What say microphones near the idea? Yea, Ghana poor taxpayers, the Kaba 160 emphasis is annual man. Clark, say, Nebo, now making sure, say, one more multi-phoning in our free almost salaries. Number 3, Clark, Konako catch the police say, because the FC, criminal components between your the police in your official investigation, no mun take it up matter. I think so committee appointments committee, because say nipa no more committee, so I whips ya suspend your money.
Yes.
Montana mun recomposite committee, I don't know just you change the committee now. But someone has suspended your money. You better need the papa flow is on one name. And the ordinance on say, and say Parliament and Casa share almost standing orders. Now, you may be appointment committee need, since it's a heavy woman is almost me. Now, I'm making sure they're going forward. That's them intimate because they are appointment committee meeting over the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
And we've seen some of the things that have not gone too well. It's almost are very progressive issues. The Parliament is that's what we do to a bit suspension matter, in my opinion, just one out of my 6. Mr. Speaker, at the 2. Now, young suspension matter, no so specifically. Then suspension matter, no. Our Parliament and Remuno. Certain air coso. Not Mr. Speaker, who will be did me a bone someone. Rules no trust obey me actually panese free them I mean, we are working the pan out for the rest of that sitting day, no.
Okay.
Right? Number 2, say Niamon some not me so even more. Speaker to me, one who to obey suspension. Suspension, almost any other my limits. After say Niamon some no cost to the extent to say after the local privileges committee. That privileges committee go for. I don't know. Suspension so for in that say almost to bear 1 week. I have to balance, no?
Yes.
4 to 15 days is equivalent to about a week. We are for the second time one. 2 weeks. And then it goes on and on and on and on. And you know, the first point I want to establish is say standing orders maho kwai Emma speaker as some forms of punishment. As to whether punishment what they are made excessive and I say abroad the normal punishment. Remember the work of school as we late 2 lashes. Then the late maybe ana teacher go fudo into your mouth 18 lashes. Yes, so one kwai say over complaining. And in most instances, especially in this parliamentary case, no, there are laid down rules as a grievance about speaker decisions that we take here. Ube take me appeal. Ebini say ube tinya by way of a substantive motion. Say Mr. Speaker, me file motion as minority and as majority. File motion say asamuna odibe tu jano yenu enyajin. Then it will go through the process. You will vote on the matter. The parliament decided to rescind this decision. But I think that it's important to note that whereas we are raising legality matters, no, and some members of parliament who say they cannot continue to raise legality matters so much to overshadow because when they keep doing that, they are insulting the intelligence of the Ghanaian people. TV. You members of parliament to be a whole lobby. Now one more coup. Na ye bubu nkonya na smash microphone. O say in the friend say in natural justice. As I say, ye fro. Ye bisa say aso una ojina hui. Aso una wo holy nipa no. Aso una wo bubu table no. Yes, we are expected to be given a hearing, but there are interim measures that they should take to make sure say number 1 it will forestall confidence. Ghana for last week because normal sir akoko koso over the years that obia anka want them. It is a sensitive side na parliament no reputation so na no. Until there was a need for some substantive things to be done. By all means, in a democracy they have every right to appeal to these matters through either parliament and other whichever platform, even including the court. But while they do that, I think that it's important that members of parliament very Ghana for. I'm more waiting who say tomorrow they are sure Muntano. They are sure Munta because I'm more representing. So who are me MP? Now me queen. And so who are call representing the work of Kuna Mugusa? The mommy. And you must be able to take responsibility for that. And I think that it is in the spirit of that responsibility. And normal SEC in the past, the and a speaker, course, so and for me, we need to commend him. Of course, by all means, the areas are called excessive, no?
Yeah.
The systems must correct that. But we must not condemn the entire process.
Excessive, no, which aspect? Because
well, I do not see any excessive personally. But members of parliament, they raise the minority caucus almost a statement, almost their back up. Actually, must say, Adentina minority for me and majority me by company a punish Adentina yam more hearing. In fact, almost describing your man almost say no parliament as minor property damages. Minor. You know, it goes to the mindset of how they see some of these things as members of parliament. And I think it is very, very insulting.
Very well, but I mean, in right perspective, the speaker might not have erred, right? In terms of parliamentary standing and procedures.
The speaker may have exerted more sanctions than would have been allowable. May is the word I use. But for me, honestly, in this particular instance, I think so we all need to rally behind the speaker to be able to take some of these very bold decisions. To the extent that he's not being partisan about it, to the extent that he's not burying the interest of the country at the expense of Onwani egos and as it is, we must support him. And yes, sir, parliament is a bit degenerated. You see Kenya very recently, to the extent that Mebunu did not respect parliament, and they were so upset with parliament that they didn't trust that parliament can do the job. So they needed to storm parliament themselves. We saw what happened. And Yanshetni and Salviji parliament, some of these things have the potential of happening. Yamin Pengu.
Very well. Nyame Mpengu. And we'll look forward to seeing the aftermath of it. The big free mwaba, any engagement, a minority, ACK said, to me, and you're hearing with the speaker. But I mean, Obia on the right, and the rules of natural justice will require, say, Ubeti Obia Numasem, and sign our professor a year. Any sanctions against the person. Now, should it happen, say, I mean, minority, are able to justify their cause, the speaker will have to come back on his ruling, right?
Well, if they come by way of a substantive motion, now the two now decided that there be the speaker here, 1 year, but it must be rescinded. That's their own decision, and we'll be here. We'll
Very well. Very well. But a quick one before you go. Appointment committee, Juma Womoye. Oh, you're satisfied, Anna?
Baby. When you're satisfied.
I didn't hear.
When you're satisfied because your mother could be during the course of appointment committee, including in your home, someone MPC last week, Thursday, were very avoidable. You who appointment committees in the past. In fact, it is true that this is the first time the first major appointment committee vet in almost new standing orders now and not for a different kind of composition, right? But this is a committee of leaders. This is one of the very few committees for parliament and run it say members of the committee, some leaders of parliament. Good one now you leaders. It is a committee of leaders in Bonia. You can imagine what would happen in committees that do not have majority of their members being leaders. And the major worry, And I think it's a committee name, and they must be doing a lot of self-introspection as a committee. When you every day, I say we review the next day they must seek to improve, continuous improvement. When we see that they are improving continuously, we may forget about the ills of the past because we prefer to say a new parliament, new committee. They were learning the ropes. But if every single new day, Nanyoma Air Kosono is getting even worse there, then we will have cause to be worried.
Very well. Sammy, I'm grateful for your time, Adopay. Mami Nawas. And that is the executive director for Parliamentary Network Africa, Russ Samuel, been speaking to us on the sidelines of the ACOSO in Parliament. But before we go on that issue, say, because in our report, Global Info Analytics, okay, any Ghana for Akasa about a Juma, the appointment committee, area. Now we'll come into it. Now, you heard some of the concerns are Ghana for entirely raising about this particular a Juma appointment committee area. But you as a Ghanaian, you're satisfied with appointment committee in Juma or Moyana, especially the chairman of the committee. Many have said, you're weak. The reason why the air coso. But in a 25-page document, Global Info Analytics at the report, at the aba. And we'll go into it at the latter part of the show. Na yetimi ama wahu the Ghana for the dona so adwen eye womo ewo eye appointment committee na adwuma womo eye ho. Ma membra na African Ziga so na maintain kakra on this and sana yasanko ahomane so ye wia ye beba na ya bedin komo because president has set up an 8-member committee womo eba be make sure say there is a comprehensive forum ebeboa ma individuals, groups, parents, students obia or matabia as a stakeholder within the educational sector omo edi omo adwen traba for a total overhaul and review of Ghana's educational system, not just the free senior high school, from basic level, UTA president, or say from the basic JHS primary, Equa, Kosi tertiary, and then even including the vocational and technical education, there must be a comprehensive policy. Yebeka said Ghana as a nation, no, when it comes to education, your policy ni enti we ana yede juma. Political parties should be invited per the terms of reference Omampenyi Ediama committee no say within 2 weeks as I say omoma no roadmap ebetime amasa National Education Forum no etime abaso. But nana member also na mintio kakra ewo parliament issues no na I deliberately played the ruling of the speaker. It was so long, but we needed to listen. Na Ghana for baby sanctions, if we are ever. Speaker Backben is not so much happy about the development course last week. Mamintio.
Yes, Kwame. Mr. Dankwa, Madam Chiano. Kwame, Papa na ya dibia to say Ghanaians have started paying attention to him. Yes, because the people that opposed Musa Dankwa today they are paying attention to his works, and they have apologized to Musa Dankwa. Okay, I said there was a time now Ujina has said we said about 7 questions because I was not convinced the works the Juma but it looks like everything that he said
has come to pass. So baby obia yes yechiano why edumaten pa it's yechiano Kwame Speaker Backben but so report to you the just before you go there report to you the or said national opinion poll on president's performance and appointment committee assessment and it was issued as at yesterday 2nd February, which is Endra, right? And we'll come into the details.
Okay, Kwame. All right, Kwame. Reverend Kofi Oduro. Onyabotre. Onyabotre na. Seven previous. Untimi enfa emotions enkasa. Because how he spoke.
Yeah.
It looks like onye well versed our parliamentary
issues.
Because Kwame, you cannot describe a world parliament as foolish. It is wrong. And then emotions. And yes, puppet it gives you the audacity to describe parliament as foolish. Ghana constitution does not recognize any religion. It is a puppet anymore. No, somebody does not recognize that the constitution and recognizing religion. Because freedom of speech, freedom of association, religion, whatever, but and recognizing any religion. It is a opportunity now, Kasa Kwame. Don't be driven by your emotions. Any normal want to say. You call parliament foolish if Ojaba Sabin Prebiasa, softly a friend Ojaba. When Jana Yerohona Wakofa or Bao Cochin Prawe Chenua, Abba Fire no Odin Yambrasem no Kwame. I cannot describe all men of God as foolish.
Okay, now that's so mami nominate the Honorable Indusa Fuseni in Nkomo Emra, former member of parliament and then former chairman for the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee in Parliament, ranking member, former. Indusa, if you can hear me, good morning. Pachompom to saying?
For me.
Very well. I'm so grateful, sir. Yanyawa, Yaniwo, Edi, and Komo. First of all, I mean, you are very much aware of the incident that occurred last week, Thursday, at the appointment committee, the misunderstanding a lady to the destruction of parliamentary properties. And the Speaker Backben has given a ruling. The ruling comes with a lot of sanctions. I mean, he has said the members of parliament or finding themselves as culprits of what happened must be able to pay for those properties that were destroyed. I mean, the utmost of it on. So, you suspended certain members of parliament. But on the minority side, they have said, this is quite undemocratic. It is not founded in law as per the standards and then procedures in parliament. But I mean, too, as a former Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee member and ranking, I mean, when things like this happen in Parliament, what is the best way out of it?
Well, first of all, my dream and say what happened in Parliament at the appointments committee, and so on, cannot be justified and defended under any circumstance.
Okay.
And yet democratic. And so and yet parliamentary. In fact, it's a scar on our parliamentary practice. It's a blot on our democracy. Because I don't know what MRA. I don't know what constitution. I don't think the parliamentary committee on why you standing orders. I don't think. Say, a bus say, ye I dream what assembly home. Then we resort to the rules. Then the rules no can. Then we apply the rules and resolve the matter. Consensus no say, and this part of the rules of parliament. Say munyina I dream what assembly so. Uber to aba to determine which decision to take.
Okay.
That's a consensus. And it's a democratic consensus. Nti a point ni ho say you see gidi basa and one day and for decision. It's not democratic. It is condemnable with the vehemence of all Ghanaians. The democracy is so. It's very expensive.
Yes.
Yes, say sika. Be brave. Skadia, ebetimasi schools, ebetimasi hospitals. And they are too above because we want the peace, security, and development of this country. And they are yini pase omonko he say am omanyi bako yie. Yan say sika say omonko tu atwade. Nyenti na say sika no. So what happened in the parliament was a toxic mix of immaturity and impunity. Because mature people will not behave that way. And people who are responsible and know they are accountable will not behave that way. There was immaturity and there was impunity. That we should not tolerate in this country. Fine. Speaker, or your presiding officer, or your member of parliament.
Okay.
No, she can be a member of parliament. Kessben. So you're a member of parliament, but no, you by you as speaker. Why is there no opposition?
Yes.
So do a job. Or you're a member of parliament, yet to by you, or resign in a position. And then I did Bena I have for about parliament.
Yes.
Okay, speaker precise. Until when you're parliament member of parliament. The peer review system, yejuma of parliament. Then I say yenti committees. Then the parliament appointments committee or move 30 members of parliament peer review. Then obiye boni wa parliament privileges committee never tratam so privileges committee no omo members of parliament. So into peer review. Because a debut was and Fata said member of parliament and yet the members of parliament no omunim sa de Fata no rules no society sala. Now here new standard orders no Obama speaker power B kakra, and I refer specifically to order 129 and 130. 129 and 130.
Okay.
Omama Manus, new standard orders now. Which make mawuti for ntie. because me the kind cars asem no na member of parliament be or na you the call 35. But 129 and 130, I must Speaker of Parliament the power to suspend a member of Parliament for disorderly conduct for 2 days, for 4 days. Say a repeater for 8 days. Say a repeater for 12 days. So in that rules, man, who be a speaker a war a Honda or to me to suspend a member of Parliament for 2 weeks. So even if you say that disorderly conduct, a warranted sanctions of the speaker is for 4 days.
It's for 4 days.
For 4 days. Initially for 4 days. A repeat 8 days. A repeat 12 days. Now that's number one. Number two, disorderly conduct, here standing orders is disorderly conduct that happens in the face of the speaker. So speaker presiding. Now obi a disorderly conduct. Speaker, and after upon all exhortations, the speaker can suspend that person. Now, I did the say SC committee level. So does the power of the speaker extend to the committee?
That is a very interesting question.
So now speaker so asamno otiva so ana oti asamno said the yen because no one hobby. Can you take a decision based on asam the oti and add their own who can you take a decision based on that?
Yes,
so,
by precedent,
speaker. Yes. Tell me the speaker. So I'm putting you under the line. On the and the speaker, say, who have provisions now? And mama say, because a democracy, see, say the I can't about democracy. In a democracy, decisions made or taken can only be justified if they are made or taken through a commonly accepted procedure. So, and the rule of law, no. And that's the key to democracy.
Interesting. Council, maybe order 129. And this is what it says. One is a member, minister, or deputy minister. First of all, the title is disorderly conduct. Yes, disorderly conduct. Now, the first one says that a member, minister, or a deputy minister engages in disorderly conduct where the member, minister, or deputy minister persistently breaches these orders. 2. Despite order 1233, where the speaker calls the attention of the House to the conduct of a member, minister, or deputy minister who persists in irrelevance or tedious repetition either of the argument of a member, minister, or deputy minister, or of the argument used by another member in a debate, the speaker may direct the member, minister, or deputy minister to discontinue the speech. Now, 3 says that the speaker may order a member or minister or deputy minister whose conduct is persistently disorderly to withdraw immediately from the House during the remainder of the sitting of that day, and the member or minister or deputy minister shall withdraw immediately. Now, you go to 4. He says that where the minister, the member or deputy minister disregards the authority of the speaker to withdraw, the speaker shall invite the marshal to act on the order, and the speaker shall suspend the member or the minister or deputy minister from the service of the House for a period not exceeding 4 sitting days. 5. Where the speaker considers that the sanctions under this order are inadequate, the speaker may name the member, the minister, or deputy minister. Okay. 6. whenever a member, minister, or deputy minister is named by a speaker immediately after the disorderly conduct, the majority leader shall immediately move a motion or for contempt. Yes. Feeling that a member may move for contempt. So, I mean, these are the provisions. Now, a quick one. You mentioned Order 130 as well. The title says that suspension of member for disorderly conduct. Now, 131 says that where a member is found to be in contempt of Parliament under Order 129, the member shall be suspended immediately from the House, and unless the House otherwise decide, the suspension shall be on the first occasion for 4 sitting days, on the second occasion for 8 sitting days, and on the third occasion or subsequent occasions for 12 sitting days, except that A, including the period of suspension of a member, the day on which the member was suspended. Yes. So, I mean, these are the provisions of the standing orders. Yes.
So, I'm sure if they maybe, and that was the MP for Swami, he didn't avert his mind to this. So, you see the power of the speaker. So, disorderly conduct. But if you read the provisions, this orderly conduct, a narrow interpretation.
Okay.
So, it's a very narrow interpretation in the sense that, or say, where a member, minister, or deputy minister uses the language of of another member in the debate or engages in debate that clearly is symptomatic or shows a level of disorderly conduct.
Yeah.
So it's about talking or debating in a way that is disorderly. But this one was fisticuffs. But you see, the fact that the standing orders, and the standing orders are regulations of Parliament.
Yes.
Inadequate, no. It's lamentably clear. It's very clear.
So even in this case, share a year Order 130 now, what it means is that the highest number of suspension period Miyamano 12 sitting days. Now
and that is on repeat.
Yes, on repeat of the person's conduct. Now, I mean, what
and that would be consequent upon conviction for contempt.
Okay.
So 132 says that 129 says that a member shall immediately move after the 4 days. No, the member shall immediately move that the member has committed contempt. And then 30 follows there saying that when the member is convicted for contempt, it's first time 4 days, second time 8 days, third time 12 days.
And upon conviction of contempt, you must be given a fair hearing by the privileges committee.
The contempt. When the military contempt comes in, you are talking about privileges committee.
Okay.
It's a breach of privilege. Military contempt comes in breach of privilege or abuse of power, or so military contempt comes in. You are saying that somebody has acted in a way contemptuous of Parliament, and you can't make that decision unless you go to the privileges committee.
Now, in a situation, Speaker, Amma 2 weeks, can we say that he has erred? According to the law and the understanding orders.
What I always say is that where you have difficulty justifying the decision taken,
yes,
by an authority or person, then that decision is problematic.
I see.
That's what I always say. If an owner to me to do that.
So the minority will be justified in their quest to say, the ruling of the speaker a little bit too harsh, and it affects a number of people.
I'm not talking about justification here of the minority's position. I'm just saying that as a former member of Parliament, as a former ranking, as a lawyer, I have great difficulty at appreciating the power of the speaker to do what he has done.
Yes, but in that sense, it is based on the same ruling, and the minority, it justifies the speaker does not have that authority.
Speaker, I'm not engaged in inferences, drawing inferences. With the greatest respect, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, but again, one would say that, I mean, with the appointment committee and the work what actually is even the causal effect of the AC, you know? I mean, could the majority...
The causal effect is bad, oh. It's bad. It lowers parliament in the estimation of society. It undermines democracy. And when you talk about democracy, you are talking about the power of the people to rule themselves. That's democracy. And the central axis of every democracy is parliament.
People's representation.
That's the central axis. It is a government by the people, for the people, and of the people. That's the central axis. So that's why you can see a government which is not without a democracy. But you cannot see a democracy without parliament.
Can we say, Speaker, I mean, I'm making all these rulings just to, I mean, get to know, say, Ghanaian people no are so much happy, but for that reason, no, this is what the Speaker is also doing as the leader of the Parliament, and then bringing back the confidence Ghana for being in the Parliament itself. Now, Yabeka say, we can overlook, I mean, the standing orders and then allow this to foster for the very first time.
Maybe so, say, come diwa na omunya diane.
Kessben.
Do you fall in the pot?
No, you don't fall in the pot. you stand or you sit to eat. I mean, you don't fall in the pot. Yes.
It will be foolhardy to fall in the pot because you are too hungry, and so you just want to dip yourself in the pot and be satisfied. You get bent by the pot.
I see.
So the fact that the members have behaved in a reprehensible manner or exhibited reprehensible conduct does not in any way justify an overstepping of the rules.
Very well. So, I mean, committee near the Jumeria, they should report back to the House, right?
Yes. That's how whatever happens. I mean, that's what the standing orders say. So every committee will have to report back to plenary. Even the ad hoc committee will have to produce a report.
Very well. But so far, I mean, you've been there before. Are you happy with the work committee now so far? I mean,
we already had difficulty with the committee. Now, even when I was in Parliament, because I see that even though sometimes you get carried away by the interview, by the vetting, but I always ask, to what extent, to what purpose, to what benefit? Because you were in 1969 constitution, now you practice parliamentary democracy, Westminster type of system. Nti buzi breno so you invite ministers. We didn't vet ministers because ministers have to be members of parliament, and all members of parliament are qualified to be ministers. So you vetted ministers. There was no vetting. So when you look at our constitutional history, you see that a government has never been formed without vetting, because members of parliament were ministers. Then you come to 1979. So your experiment 1969 didn't work. So let's go to the American system of government. So the 1969 constitution was a presidential system of government. So you couldn't be a member of parliament and still be a minister. No. So just like what happens in America, if you're a member of Congress, you can't be a minister of state. So strict separation of powers. So when Harasoya was a member of parliament for Osu, and then minister for education, he had to resign his seat. So the speaker. So the 1979 constitution imported 1979 constitution vetted by and vetted is just prior approval of parliament. And then the phrase that establishes the vetting committee.
Okay.
Prior approval of Parliament. So, 1992 Constitution, we have Article 78(1). It combined the features of the parliamentary system and the features of the presidential system. So,
yes.
So, until the 1992 Constitution as a fusion.
Fusion of the two systems. Yeah.
Two systems. So a member of parliament can be a minister, and a member of parliament can be a minister, except that he must qualify to be a member of parliament. So now the concluding phrase with prior approval of parliament. Constitutional interpretation, or more ready with prior approval of parliament to regulate both members of parliament and non-members of parliament. Almost 30 members of parliament. Because if we were to follow our experiences, historical or constitutional experiences, in member of parliament, they are almost 30.
But Honorable, what actually becomes of the appointment committee at Jumomoye? Because I mean, vetting Ukraine now, non-scoring, nominee may appear before the committee, score the performance, and then once the performance are not scored, and the competence is near there, it is just for the public to decide.
Mr. Speaker, again, answer a question, Mr. Speaker. Are they testing the competence? Are they vetting to establish the competence of the nominee?
That is my worry, because I mean, I don't know the end point of the vetting.
They are testing to see whether the person is eligible, is qualified. They're vetting for that purpose. They're not vetting for competence. Competence is a political question. So if we put a manifestly incompetent person in office, 4 years, the people who vote against you, you don't take them serious. So you are it's a political question. So the leader, Article 58 of the Constitution, vests executive authority in the president. And the president must know that he is accountable to the people. That in 4 years' time, people will take a decision on his leadership. And so, if a leader knows of this, he does the right thing. He chooses competent people, so that the people will know that he's taking them seriously, and they can return him or his party to power. This is a political question. I think, in my view, the vetting is intended to determine whether that person is eligible.
Where the eligibility comes from, which aspect? Because I mean,
that's a very, very good question. So you go back to the Constitution. Because you must be qualified to be a member of parliament.
But the qualification, you must be 18 years and above. You must be of sound mind. Yes, it doesn't talk about academic qualification. It doesn't talk about experiences.
So you must not be a bankrupt. You must not hold allegiance to
any other country.
You must be a citizen of
Ghana.
You must.
I mean, these are the basics. So, because even if you are not a citizen of Ghana, you will not have the confidence to contest in the first place.
You must be a registered voter.
I see.
So in 1992 or thereabouts, you got a buy and almost on your day.
On your Ghana ni?
No, on your registered voter. Well, Ghana, but he didn't register to vote in the elections. He joined to be a minister, and that was revealed in the vote in the vetting. And then under for that woman, you remember a woman. There's a woman who owed allegiance to another country.
Okay.
And she was also disqualified. There was a woman, the woman, who brought her from, I think, America or Britain.
Very well. Interesting. But in the future,
the speaker, you should be following this thing. So there are important things happening in our distance, but because we are not relating it to the Constitution, no. And the time the impact and the the reasons why certain provisions are put in the Constitution.
Yes, but basically, no, Honorable, yes, you have mentioned some of the qualification, eligibility tests to qualify you, no. But even with that, I mean, when the people appear before the committee, questions around these angles do not really come up. It's more or less.
That's why we are saying that. So that's why I didn't find anything wrong with that Greater Accra nominee. When they didn't vet it, I didn't find anything wrong with it. Because in 1969, issue in 1969, don't have vetted her. So when people who were not members of parliament appeared, I expected them to parliament first of all to satisfy itself. But beyond this our question, the real vote in the last election. Are you a citizen of this? No,
Obiambisa. Yes, Obiambisa.
The companies that you even have, they were did they fold up or they were bankrupt? Obiambisa.
Wow. Honorable, Mame now was here no pay. I know we will talk more. Thank you. I'm grateful for your time. Thank you. And that is your Honorable Yunusa Fuseni speaking to us, bringing us to exactly 13 after 9. Interesting conversations.
Honorable Yunusa Fuseni there, or institutional. Or institution to come and say, law student. Or Kessben na Kwame when you are then you learn something from it. But me ya dibi. Kwame be say me ya dibi but me ba hon Kwame. Yes. Mame monitor. Where do I even have to start from? Yes, Speaker Bagben. Yes. We see video nearby now. Was say were you shocked and scandalized? Na Kwame me or say Oma address this issue that the consequences beba not even parliament but Ghanaians. He said it in the video. But Kwame, I'm also shocked and scandalized. Say Speaker Bagben say well you're shocked and scandalized about this development. Because this is not the first time I do this. And I didn't see any now see when you get me. When I hear Tuaba, Eddie Speaker Bagben in 2021, the same thing happened. Kwame, it was worse than this. Worse than this because what happened? I was only happy with preliminary. Yeah. And it was entire 275 MPC now were in the brawl. You get me?
But now only speaker that's at that time.
I'm talking about saying Tono Swaban, but he was there. I'm not saying that he was a speaker. I'm saying that he was there. Just my make you. He was there. It didn't cost anyone. Yes. And the element a dinyam brasam no sankofo be that's what parliament. And they were part of today a normal course. Yeah, passing E-levy. Who presided or the over E-levy passing? Obi the blade call parliament. It was Speaker Bagben. Even if not Speaker Bagben Kwame presiding 11 there was another brutal brawl of parliament. And no, that was a 2021. Nimenu Nasi 2021. And no na inform Speaker Bagben and his people to reinstitute the new standing orders of parliament. Yeah. Because the old standing orders not to suspend a member Kwame na clear. So eno na nia kwakonya sa 1-2 na ya yika ho asemi eni na Jamaica what say. So eni kwasa we shocked ya de bia sida na Kwame tiri me constituents mato about the yi member of parliament na be koto about parliamentarian na be koto about yi Kwame Matwa me the honorable honorable na ba beto no so. The honorable member, the word honorable no, generated from the word or derived from the word called honest. You understand? It dawson wa called the August house of this country. And a parliamentarian no call wa kodi nyambrasam wa gumi men wenye parliament nkwane the party we go manimu ase we gu me na me koto abama no you understand we gu manimu ase we gu constituency nanimu ase enti how do me the constituent no me punish anybody no I have to find some punishment by way of voting him out me what
which is in 4 years time.
In the 4 years enti say brand ho enu parliament was standing orders I the best punish you you make what I say now Kwame yen share speaker Babin there in the kakra maintain no mabiase any the honorable ekanisian maintain no baby I have to oba because una say we kakra no adru ho Kwame timi speaker Babin or see based on a Parliamentary Service Act section 10 money control because I just read the section 10. The section 10 says the speaker shall, subject to the decisions of the board, have ultimate responsibility for the administration, organization, and control of employees within the service. So Obia is not only the clerks, it's not only the clerk, not the business whatever affairs officer, not the cleaners. But even Obiaya to Abayina, we are we employee of the parliament. And he have control over you. And based on this, and what just setting up a committee to investigate the matter. Jamaican what I say.
Yeah.
But Kwame, why do you have to form a committee? Why by the parliamentary standing orders is there? Because you committee no more by
investigation.
To investigate
what happened?
To what happened? To do what? What happened? We have seen the people that misbehaved and we have suspended them. So, if we say, Obati committee there, why did you two wait for the committee report to Baba? Do you based on it to suspend them?
So the committee's report, is not just about say omo ebema sanctions ayedebema and Crawford involved. Okay, probably they may also go a step further to say recommendations are investigation going forward no steps A B C D okay and necessary parliament etiki okay I mean to forestall some of these situations NCB and don't be new additions are ABA
that is fantastic and also I do agree with him say also at the Bama police referring the matter to police that is good and also forfeiting the salary you did replace it again. I had it from some. But come here, exercise BT just a few minutes. Okay, 129 now. Okay, and one. Tiasma make any yepa. Mentino maybe I say, but if I'm displaying my ignorance, then the tier 4 never correct me. Listen to me. Or say, this is parliamentary standing orders, the new one. Disorderly conduct. 129 clause 1. A member, minister, or deputy minister engages in disorderly conduct where the member, minister, or deputy minister persistently breaches these orders. Tell you. Despite order 123 clause 3, order 123 clause 3, no, HS will say where the speaker calls the attention of the house to conduct of a member, minister, or deputy minister who persists in irrelevance or tedious repetition either of the argument of the member, minister, or deputy minister, or of the minister, or of the argument used by another member in the debate, the speaker may direct the member, minister, or deputy minister to discontinue the speech. That is one.
When it has to do with debate on the floor.
Debate.
Now, okay. I mean, we'll put you upsetting.
Yes, then we continue. Say 129 and
if about 130 now, and only a clear for the members of parliament. And to call order 130, no, and then about the specifics. We know for I mean on the floor debate near the course no be misconducting one. But
okay,
order 130,
was say it is all kind to na trainer. Was the speaker may order a member, minister, or deputy minister whose conduct is persistently disorderly to withdraw immediately from the house during the remainder of the sitting of that day, and the member, minister or deputy minister shall withdraw. Obeka says Suhini, Jene Baenwa, or Cockfrey, Madame Lydia, a bloody, almost suspending it from the area. That is where. Now, so I say, where the member, minister or deputy minister disregards the authority of the speaker to withdraw, the speaker shall invite the marshal to act on the order, and the speaker shall suspend the member, minister or deputy minister from the service of the house for a period for not exceeding 4 sitting days. I'm not interested in that. But Kwame, he's talking about persistently. You understand? Persistently. I haven't read the 30, but was it persistently. So in order say ubetimia suspended the pana, one, why are there no one? Why are there no two? Persistently, then you base on it to suspend the person. Or say persistently orderly. That's what I want, because when we got to do with the suspension, and it is and na speaker referred to Honorable Haruna say. If you need to say in Kase, onim baby speaker to me free because supposed to be for this.
So when the dinner maker say, "Oh, 30 now, 30 no, a specific for members of parliament." Can 30 no?
Okay, I say suspension of a member for disorderly conduct.
Exactly.
Or say where a member is found to be a contempt of parliament under order 129, the member shall be suspended immediately from the house, and unless the house otherwise decides, the suspension shall be on the first occasion for 4 sitting days, on the second occasion for 8 sitting days, and on the third subsequent occasion for 12 sitting days, except that blah 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 blah. Understood now? Understood now. But also or refer to 129.
Yes.
The 129 a particular twice that he has mentioned.
So 129
persistently.
129 has to do with activities, sir. So
activity 130.
Exactly. So the premier facility must be established. Say o conduct now will put it up in the chamber, no? Okay. I mean, it's a disorderly kind of conduct.
Follow within the 130.
129. No?
That's what I'm saying. That the conduct now, Bema 130. No, I suspended. Essay should be persistently disorderly.
Okay.
That is where my problem is. Should be persistently. It is like our parliament.
Now,
why are DB? Now, the speaker, was say 1, 2, 3, no, cross 3, no. A speaker catch and remind you almost say, Obiani Huni. So the bitch Obiani Huni. It's why your first one, not speaker 1, 2, 3, now remind you. Now I say another one. I remind you. So I didn't yet persistently disorderly. Then you go for suspension. But happens once. I don't think it's
okay. They are the masters of their own rules, and they will come back to tell us more on that. 25 minutes after 9. I'm pausing. And you be changing the bag me no. And see, Babe now I see that.
2,000 potholes and one question.
2,000.
That's why I research be 15,000 potholes and our honorable chairman Sabus.
I was having that. So Babe Koye Jumawa and brother Yabana Yatuaso Eddie and Komoma. Men Kyle, my numbers, 055-056-7929, 055-056-7929, and no other numbers are Yesu and Opay. Mamin call na many naxeba any and Komo na and Opay, one more ewan near my papa P na no Eddie, my more fatching na me mana fishy apa. A video decam in Indonesia and dog marching.
Speaker.
Pepe.
Now, so much to say. When young companion will cry.
Next for whom, yeah.
And one more.
Okay, I finish as you,
Sape Pepe.
And I trade the ampass. Facheme, Mamma Tinasia check. By ending combo, I no pay.
You speaker, my men for Quenya Reson and chair, I have 4 near Tiafuina. A business for way and ask scientific by recycling and a motti and cane. Yanko Pardom, did you make the baby shares with China? Nti na wo say a man saying na ti de bekoso we china edi kan no nask scientific herbal research clinic treat ya fe nask herbal clinic no nyame adom ye branches miensa de di kan no ye wo eye ahenema kokome uko Ashanti region Kumasi ehwa ne wo wo banka ha de ye wo Taifa ana afie sa wo spente sa wo ba Taifa wo su bisi wo Davi bookshop bisa Fairview guest house ene guest house ne bo ho spentes wo su bisi wo Rainbow supermarket behind Rainbow IT ehwa ne wo abusuafo de bia meka se ade obi a wo hwe me ana wo tie me de na kuma so ade pa ne se bra yare bebe ni peduanim na wobetu na mo se wo ko ayaresabia na akopa ayaresa no abusuafo obetimi anya ayaresa e wa abresi ka bi obetua no enkoye kwa na ebetimi aba ne saa nso dia na wo se nhihye papa bi ekoso me kan nhihye papa bi na wo se enhwemu papa bi koso na yehu yare na ebra hye ase ebra yare na du ansa na watimi ama aduro ama obi a oba wo nchen no wanyamfaso ewo so na hwehwemu a kire se enei senipa eten bia ko hospital emu na ombeba no mabama bu efi se aduro kono ye ne ka oboye no wanya so mfaso abusuafo ade ba ko ye no kra mepese obi a hye ne so ne se obi biara obetu ni na si na scientific ba and research clinic no se obabie mu a na waso obi fufuro nsa de naba efi se obai wo hu se enhwemu ayaye ayaresa na yaboa ama bibia akoyi ne sent wachina program ayeye wo 3 branches no ema obi anyini hu mfrim abusuafo program ni nyina ne se wachina yeye lab ahodo bebre asenke yakọ hospital bi na ye ni be 75 million enka ye nya maye wachina yeye ni free de to so mienu ne se wachina ye twa scan ede afa ye mu niema te se ye liver ye kidneys bema o prostate oba ye twa wa wode na hwe ebia fibroid bi wo ho ade ntina ne bema ni hia ne nso na ba bontin infection bi wotutisa enko ye be ye de bonifen gynecological or pelvic scan anka wokọ ba bi no wantua be 300 anka wontimi nya no wachina ye be ni free obusuafo de me duru so yi de mepese obi atie ni yie machine de twa akoma de bonifen ECG abusuafo ma menka akoma ho asem kakra ehwemu a kire se akoma yare na di nipa ko paase ne yare bia wo wiase abusuafo nhwemu nso sha kire se akoma yare tae silent eto de bia woni sombrew utinya wo ya wo ba bia anya wo ya nanso anadwo ba akopɛ awia ba akopɛ bi na onka atiasefo ho abusuafo ye pese obi afa akonya we so na obetwa akoma no eduruma bi obi wo mpa na ditira yeye na wa starting nya signs or symptoms if you say onante kakra na wa bre to bia na woni su bre ho ye basabasa akoma ne timi bogidigidi na ajai wan hwe ya da kopɛ wonti asɛm ɔde nti wachina ese bra sa betwa akoma no for free enhwemu amaken se okɔ hospital bia na nkuta bese 1000 Ghana city to bese 10 million aye nyema wachina ye yesa nhwemu we nyina free na wato aduro anom ama ho atɔ nti wo ba enhihye ne etiawa ubetua wo card 50 Ghana cedis chano so mame no watua consultation 50 Ghana cedis uwia wawie o qualify se nhwemu ni nyina we ni free se de be ye be hu yare no ni hu yare na se de wa ho ade betimi no wato aduro anom ama ho atɔ enam se yegidi se ye nhwemu ni nyina na hu yare na ho beto ntine ye se wadro ni sanso a sabra review for free if you say liver and kidney and say yare na ehu ye no e wose wo ba na ehu se bibia aye kama ansa na mede number ne betu dwane ti asem we yare ahodo aye saye bebre adekwente mani abre akoma yade so ne se edi nipa bebre ko ti brada be check akoma yare bi ti se prostate omo e ulcer anoma drosa enko omo wo typhoid enkasemu wonsa yo tititi etu ba bia na pressure ne da bia na ekosoro se de yare ne sitie bia no bra ye nhwe na bibia enkoyi enti mede number yi betu dwa na wa freni ama special code na watu anamo aba no pe ya wachira na ye program ne de nanso enne ubetimi aba ma na ye wachira ubetimi aba ma na ye just 2 days and ye program edinka aka say enka ya water for spenters kumasi aya ahenema kokoben number aba friend waju special code no 0244 12 02 69 0244 12 02 69 0244 12 69 emperifo asempa etia na mamenka asem ntwa to bla me de meka sanyina ebekọ awiye no ya na ya rehosam se yasese ndru a watua ka bebredi ama nanso ya nya hwehwemu bia hu yare ya na yare wosem nanso nso e wosa adema no so ne se obenu maduro na wie na yare ne nkoye na wakọ baabi isa akọbọka yare wosem afi se wotu na mo so pese okọ hospital bia ko hospital ukọ na uka wasem a ye be hwehwemu edi ama ho ne ehu yare na ama ho duro se de be ya ho beto na emum tie ne ye enye doctor bi na ne tiri mo odin enti na ukọ na nche won twa scan anhwe liver no kidneys anhwe prostate anhwe awodie mu enye doctor bi na ne tiri mo odin na won twa akoma no ana wan koye lab te say hepatitis B malaria typhoid wan ko check sugar ne boye den ba wede nyame aka yakoma se wenen wachina brada baby bia free na yehu yare no neto aduro no ma ho nye dey ento se wo bus painters also be so Rainbow supermarket bisa se Rainbow IT father behind the building one wo Tariff also be so Davy bookshop no bisa Fairview guest house any guest house no be Kumasi also be so Ahema Kokobin station one for taxi also call NASC obi abechiro for number we na jo special code nebra na yenye hwemu nyina ma free neto aduro ma honto me say wo ba o card e 50 consultation e 50 yenim say hwemu ni nti o de sikabia betua bia no obenya so mfa so ama ho ayede ato ti fa number Abraham de meka sanyina ekwa wiye no number ne 0244 12 69 0244 12 69 afi mi ame number o pense busa bia foforo abetimi abusa ne ama o code o so nso ne 0243 30 72 76 0243 30 72 76 Mr. Speaker me da da hwefo ne atiefo nyina ase e wa kwanya ade amaye
se anope nyame sha papa se womo ede wajapade nkrata ne beye adwuma na afi womo tua commission e wo ho se utie manope asase edan ka bibia wabo document ede atoso bia no fa document ne bra na eclipse mfanye adwuma na womo tua commission e wo ho and what you know, utieme, uye businesswoman, but you open loan at the free bank, nanso only collateral there, and pay the obey no, and it's only Eclipse collateral management for ebedi and komo na womo ebeje so na afi womo assist you with collateral, and only bet me aboa ma loan na open no onsa etimi aka, but you womo ewo a year. Adenta new site Abakan Street eho ana obehu in terms of a year brokerage there collateral brokerages number 1 womo ewo how in the system obia entime any womo and compete Adenta new site Abakan Street ana obehu no pay speak to them na womo ebeje so na womo ni wa ye adwuma abom from womo on 0543 832466 0543 832466 0543 832466 na one Eclipse collateral management for any enkomo anopay na womo ebeje so na womo ne wa ye adwuma abom anopay Namena opposing in a drono as a imbustable mess champacho and with drama so and ope boosting immune system no na ahwadation kubeba on the pediamo akondi tia ya redom nyina dia and ope as I said when imbustable mixture I didn't come enro impacho e with drama so baby unya bi eto enoma ebeboa wo ye papa enti opposing in a drono imbustable mixture eja wo number 1 immune system booster ampacho uno nombia tia ya rebia bebo ni pedum bia syphilis gonorrhea pressure stroke no beko waist pain wonso awoye adwuma kakra bia wote bre no ni nyina no imbosaba Mr. Nroi ebeyi ni nyina no e de efre ho adope se open dudu mo atu a obefre wo mo na woni wo mo din komo 0246208496 0246208496 bacho heba shops ahodo ni nyina no obenya bi ato eyusu na etimi aboa wo ye pa ana siguno fana sio na minna Nubinefie ase papa adopei Nubinefie Herbal Clinic Adaromanchi Macho wa stroke yare asha wo so ache oye ohwehwea enyeye no adopei Nubinefie se menkancho se bra na wo mo ede hahama no ede beka na wo mo tu yare ni nyina no ase ede aba menstrual pains, menstrual disorders, cramps, say how I've been here. But you're an opay Lubnefie, a beginning in idea films. I pay her, or your bow, or your babe, and Pacho, a woman sem no, I had at the amount party, and opay will last stop a Lubnefie, woman kwa. And if you say infertility in men and women, one more etimi etu asia crack na enono ejina sobi ma onso wetimi awo afa oba afi prostate enlargement, low sperm count, any de ka ho nyina no anope ode wani ekyeremo ewo no benefia wo mo beboa ahyew etretu with enura but chemicals bia nim na 100% natural na ebetumi aboa wiye anope ko eye ablekuma Shalom's bar stop na woni wo mo eni enkomo Sakina Salon Bar Stop eho ana obehu eye no benafie pacho fro wo mo on 0246 1086 8665 0246 108665 na woni no benafie edi enkomo numbers ni biem 0246 108665 na woni no benafie edi enkomo na ahade pacho yare nyina la just some few minutes. This one says that. So I say the first national poll conducted by Global Info Analytics since December 2024 elections shows majority of Ghanaians believe the country is headed in the right direction. According to the poll, 70% of Ghanaians believe that the country is headed in the right direction. And then compared to 22% recorded a year ago, only 16% say the country is headed in the wrong direction compared to 68% in the same period last year. Now, point 2, on the performance of John Dramani Mahama so far, since
as baby o kamani briman ka o sa ko bi ma ka be me the facheme native from facheme
the first national poll conducted by the Global Info Analytics since December 2024 elections shows majority of Ghanaians believe the country is headed in the right direction. According to the poll, 70% of Ghanaians believe the country is headed in the right direction compared to 22% recorded a year ago. Only 16% say the country is headed in the wrong direction compared to 68% in the same period last year. On the performance of John Dramani Mahama so far, since he assumed office as the president, 84% of Ghanaians approve of how he is doing his job. 84% approve of how the president is doing his job. On the standards of living, 32% of Ghanaians say it has improved, while 50% say it is unchanged, while 8% say it has worsened, with 10% saying they have no opinion. 78% of Ghanaian voters are optimistic that their standard of living will improve in the next 12 months. In January 2024, only 32% were optimistic. When voters were asked to indicate their level of satisfaction with the quality of appointees the president has selected, 90% of voters say they are satisfied, with 68% indicating they are very satisfied or extremely satisfied. When voters who have been following the work of the Appointment Committee of Parliament were asked to indicate their level of satisfaction of the work of the committee so far, 63% said they are satisfied with the work of the committee, 28% indicating they are very satisfied. Okay, so this 63% said they are satisfied with 28% indicating that they are very satisfied or extremely satisfied. 37% of the respondents are not satisfied with the work of the committee. On the performance of the chairman of the committee, Honorable Bernard Ehia for Esquire, 56% respondents say they are satisfied with his performance, while 44% are dissatisfied with his performance. 19% say they are not satisfied at all with his performance. In the case of the ranking member and the minority leader, Honorable Alexander Afenyo Markin, 64% of respondents say they are not satisfied with his performance, with 44% saying they are not satisfied at all with his performance. Only 8% say they are extremely satisfied with his performance. On the question of whether respondents agree with assertions that the vetting is used to score points rather than assess the suitability and competence of the nominee, 77% of respondents agreed, while 17% disagreed, with 6% did not have any opinion at all. The poll also shows that 79% of respondents support the Speaker's decision to suspend the 4 members of Parliament, with only 12% opposing it and 9% did not have any opinion. And that is what the executive summary says. And the executive summary, a total sum of the findings. Maminti just for about 5 minutes. Now, young phone lines so answer the
Yes, Kwame. Oka performance now the standard of living. Now, I see 84%. And
yes,
84% say the standard of living is good.
No, not 84. Standard of living here 84%.
Say
so standard of living 32% of Ghanaians says it has improved, while 50% say it is unchanged. Okay, Bibian's sign 50% are saying nothing has changed, while 8% say it has worsened, with 10% saying they have no opinion. So 32% of the standard of living of Ghanaians are saying it has improved. 32% are saying almost standards improve the kakra. 50% has said nothing has changed at all, and then 9% said they don't have any opinion.
Okay, so Kwame, Ura Musa down quite very clever. I don't know how why the post, but Kwame, my bejinedi. And the quality make some maje papa na dini say.
Yeah.
When he said NPP will get 38%, Kwame, even his own posters who were not supposed to comment because only say me a broadcaster, or a morning show host, no be a morning show host. Next the panel, a different radio station. That's why you have no right to comment on it because of professionalism, Kwame. So on one case posters and the colleague posters were swiping him say it has never happened in the history of this country where after post Rollins obi betimi such a 38%. But Kwame, it has happened. Jamaica what I say the standard of living no say nipa 50% essay and society charity Kwame no crack you betimi ama President Mahama the benefit of the doubt because ministers Jamaica what I say, but so kase the tianetia ye beto about dollar no now reduce to 15 point something. Said the eternity. The dollar is 15 point something.
Around that side, yeah.
And
15.4.
50, yes, 0.4. And no sad than China. Come see at 2 fuel. And I near and if you are not yatuno. A yadiana persistently in every a month to be ano as a 2 months piano
window
yes na window no opina up and fu and koso so and only it is not never been terminated or stamped Kwame enti yasa to fu omu enra de make na what say enti so catch us said the eternity 50% Kwame say na accurate status spray na make ho asem no Kwame about 55 ye beto aba na 50 ye very say 50 Ghana cedis the highest was a 50 Ghana cedis. Yesterday I bought mine for 55 cedis. The American what I say. So I'm not saying this because President Mahama am on homody.
Yeah.
We can still give him the benefit of the doubt because the ministers kwa onimwe. Minister Kwame Aswani in our office no on toto no normal kwa nwe. obi kwa onim ni ayi the director of that ministry obi kwa onim ni din obi kwa the first meeting kwa na nyai enti say enoma na ekosoro no eye dey you were expecting sa percentage no so mbeka say still at the eternity it's a real Kwame I like this man.
Okay.
I mean, I like this man. Baby, I didn't know my free band. In fact, yes, I like it in that way. So we are looking forward to say in the next best 6 months time. What they be bar and when you bet me a comment ye pa say I do such time they now President Mahama appointed the ministers. No, I settled. Then so we can move on from there. Yeah, okay.
Okay. My man kinda. Krobia ATA. Krobia, good morning. Well, it's a good morning, Mr. Speaker. Sincerely, the action by the Speaker needs to be reconsidered. And the best he could have done was to transfer the MPs to the Privileges Committee of Parliament to engage the MPs' conduct, proper investigation, and then present its findings before any further action. The Speaker of Parliament must know and understand that our Constitution provides, as part of natural justice, for persons accused of any offense, including murder, the right to be heard. Also, judging from all the videos in circulation and what was announced by the Speaker as sanction, is best to be described as very biased and injustice against the minority caucus. I support the call for discipline and respect for the rules and standing orders of Parliament, but I vehemently disagree with selective justice and discrimination. In conclusion, let us also take judicial notice that all the brouhaha was started by the conduct of Roxanne Dafiamapo, and he must also severely be punished for his intolerance and unwarranted attack on the minority leader, which resulted in the scuffle we witnessed. Thank you for message. Tell Ziga that the NPP never had 38%. He should stop misinforming the people. The NPP in 2024 election got 41.2%. Where from this Krovia made that say?
For Kwame,
yes,
the original idea by 41 point something, and the electoral commission came out with an outstanding constituencies be. So based on this, on person be mistaken. What the electoral commission republished, I just say you be had the Baba count, which will amount to that 41%. Until now, we cannot yet be found. So what they published was 38%. And I'm
okay. Let us not argue with Krobi. Well, it's a good morning, Mr. Speaker. God bless you and your team for the yeoman's job. Good morning, Speaker. Even this is small punishment. It should be more, because imagine if this incident was made by a student in a school office. You could imagine the level of punishment they would have given them. Oscar, you sent in that one from Brekum. Oscar, thank you for a message. Also, please, I want to give you a vital information to Nana Frimpong. You need Nana Frimpong's contact. Thank you. Afejo Maakye is very smart than every NDC nominee, because he wasn't there to debate nor took or look for who is in good standing, but he just set the traps for them to fall in, and they never saw it. Thank you for a message. I also Odiaba. Now, my main calls, na afe yantua so na yemfensi 0550-922-929 0552911929. My main my first caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning,
yes,
Mr. Speaker.
Opinion medasi. Good day, this all can say
we only have them Francis Sam Kasefia Sam. Mr. Speaker, Namishra papa Mom Quatentinia Hoarding. Manage your papa said the oye Betran studio. Mr. Speaker, you want to President Namishra. Mr. Speaker, your course on your support to Speaker of Parliament. Nasha the role is your course. MP, the MP, first time MP, our Parliament. 2 years I didn't study school and then MP before just speak and 2 minutes of best. 2 minutes on 2 speakers. 2 minutes on 2 tables. Speaker, speaker and my discipline, but Koyana can Echo Fabros, Yanyo Biafi, it is Yanyo Bishia, speaker, that's how this way at them. And you speak upon Abaso, Uncle Sonan yet, Speaker of Bintuaso.
Obi Joa so beda se ofo fro Emra 0550922929 0552911929 eno any numbers are ye de FA course no 0550922929 0552911929. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Pastor Medini George. Kasafri Nungwa.
George, you Kasafri Nungwa ko asem so na minti obody tell.
The yepa na ema discipline eba ewo the measure me say hono ma discipline but the speaker me one so nyamisha mo so ni ukru
Nyamisha so George Meda say 0550922929 0552911929 0552911929 0550922929 and no air number sir ya de Juma. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Open what did the sell free?
Yeah, Medini George, because I say what you want to say.
Okay, George, go ask something. I'm in here.
You speaker, they can Yamisra. Me follow now. I gave you a year and last week. I'm on any G. Tamwa, MPP, what party, and our power. Now we fight Galan saying some of us we thought to say we fight power party. No. But I said the recent comment about our MP in Yamana or Yanan Dewa was standing board that would be fighting. Speaker, the American said the way to Susan and the Guas.
Amen.
Benjamin Ubedin Kunin.
Amen.
Nakoswa na Jumanesa. You will need to answer and Kwaha, the Nukwani Dano, Fatu, Nayina, Yamisha Yina, Medas, Yamisra.
Sure, so George Beda say thank you very much. 0550922929 0552911929 and no any your call lines in 0550922929 0552911929. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, sir. Okasafri Kumbungu.
Kumbungu constituency Fatao Kumbungu.
Very well. Who did the same Kowasam Sudamintil?
Fatao.
Mr.
Speaker, why are they Yanishiro? I had a watch me, Papa, Lord, and not be me. After my own, no. Ghana had never a court of parliament, and yet, but Nina Fiantica end up the MDC MP Pintra. Because there's a need can say, Mr. Speaker. Now, Speaker, I can offer that. At 3 days, no university. Me about a send away the university must be our company. And yes, I Speaker of Parliament, also work. Never ever to a Parliament, no, and yet I know what another Prema Midawati.
Mr. Meda se Fatao. Mamenfa last 2 calls na yemfensi 0550922929 0552911929 and no air call lines. No, hello, good morning. Hello. Yes, sir. Opinion, but you did this all because of free.
I friend me, I prefer free chocolate.
And it's my minty on free chocolate. Go ask them so.
Let us pick up my palm Obama, Ghana. Now, Mr. Speaker, now, if you focus on your also spend now, someone in no mobile parliament, some police or NPP a threat to the democracy of Ghana, or more Ghana, NPP, or more to me, Ghana. And Mr. Speaker, and so on the hour of Simon down in Yamisha.
But I say, what in your man and to now one car, last caller, Emra 0550922929 0552911929 and no, yeah, the numbers. But me for last one. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. Opinion. Who did this? Okay, free.
The pastor from Pom, Mr. Free Poker.
From Pom, I mean, free poker as a coasam.
Yeah, pastor, how much did they pay for me? Only a home pound here. Yeah, good to a mamma, religious. You can say, Mukamu, something for Tabua, young crying up of the school. They just by example. The name of Mutua Moye. And some little not the PA and crying.
Very well. From Pom,
you're paying for the study. Then it's wrong. I am more there. I'm here to be moving deeper.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful for your time and I'll pay. I'm sure that's my main foul NC has Sergio any team no at the Medford action no at to us. So beneath the Kwame Appiah Kubi show was produced by Richard Appiah Sapon Fifi and Afe Danny together with the technical team on duty. I don't yenia Ochina Yabesanso Abba na Yenewo Abba Beye Ejuma Abom. Yeah, sorry no Sergio Laka and any team no at the Medford action at to us. So I don't yenia. We'll meet again tomorrow. Stay blessed and have a wonderful week. Good morning.